Be advised, mature content ahead. This podcast is brought to you ad-free thanks to the Legion of Demons at patreon.com/NOTLP. If you like what you hear, there's much more at patreon.com/NOTLP. Join the Legion. That's patreon.com/NOTLP. And now the show.
How do you do? Just a word of friendly warning. I think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. So if any of you feel that you do not care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now is your chance to, well, we've warned you.
Hi, welcome to Night of the Living podcast.
Hi.
We're doing body swapping. We're going to swap each other's bodies.
Body swap.
We're kicking things off with something new. This is a rarity for us to cover a new release. We're talking about Freaky. Just came out last Friday, right? Or on Friday?
I don't know.
It was a Freaky Friday.
Yeah.
It actually was released in theaters on Friday the 13th.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, was it? Okay.
In like October, September, but I think it just came on VOD this week.
What synergy?
So we'll be getting to that in the main attraction. The roulette movie is Nobody Sleeps in the Woods Tonight, which I watched. It's a Netflix film. I'm Freddy. Amy's here.
Hi.
Andy is here.
Hi.
And Kelley is here.
A word up.
And you are here, gentle listener. Patreon.com/NOTLP. We have a new episode of Topicana dropping on Wednesday.
Fresh squeezed.
Origins is out there now, where we revisit an episode we did about reality TV was the theme, and we covered the Series 7, The Contenders.
Mm-hmm. Good movie.
And there's a pitch in there, which we were talking about. We used to do this segment called The Pitch, where a listener would create a movie and we would score it and create a trailer for it and everything.
This is a classic episode. Yeah, it's got everything.
It's got it all. It's got a very heated discussion.
Things we need to apologize for.
It's got things where you're ashamed of. It's got a pitch.
It's the hottest nightclub in New York.
I didn't realize until I watched Party Monster that character is so 100% based on Michael Alec. Like,
you know, I didn't really think of it that way.
Yeah.
But after I watched it and he was doing that, I was like, oh, that's what Bill Hader is doing.
Speaking of that, I remember watching him on like Geraldo.
Yeah.
And he made an appearance and he was just talking. And at the end of his sentence, he was like, "Pow!" I don't know why.
In that movie, or I think it was
that just sticks out in my mind so much. And I just always wanted to like punctuate a sentence with, "Pow!"
You definitely should.
This guy's a killer.
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not trying to put him on a pedestal, but regardless, he's a character.
He's a character.
It's a great movie.
His crimes can't take away from his personality.
Bow.
Say that to Eileen Warnes.
Warnos.
Warnos. Warnos.
If she had just been cuter and just more kitschy,
Yeah.
we'd be celebrating her right now. There'd be SNL characters on Weekend Update.
She'd be Jerry Blank.
She would be.
Oh, man.
That's what separates Jerry Blank from Eileen Warnos.
So speaking of Patreon, a little housekeeping. We had mentioned on the show the tiers have changed. If you want to continue to receive like physical rewards like T-shirts, mugs, stickers, that sort of thing, make sure you check that you are in one of those tiers because that is changing or has changed.
Tears of a clown.
We'll still send out. We have a few people left over from this year that will get merch under the old method where we will ship that out sometime in the next 3 weeks. And Patreon, you guys are so cool about supporting us. And
you guys are awesome.
And normally we would we would be trying to go to Comic-Con and cover that, and WonderCon, do all these things. But what we had a meeting with everybody, and we decided we are now making, what are you making faces about?
I don't understand the level of detail.
Well, I just want everybody, the patrons, to know that both Andy and Kelley are now professional podcasters making way less than minimum wage. But we are, instead of the money I normally would pull together to pay for hotels and flights and that sort of thing, we're just paying Andy and Kelley now
to be our friends.
10% of the show's income going straight to them because they do a lot of work for the show.
Mm-hmm.
Kelley does.
Suddenly I care about the show.
Kelley is doing all the graphic design work for the show. Andy does all of the social media. Amy is now taking over MailChimp. And we, as part of that, because of you patronizing the show, we're able to pay for a larger MailChimp account. So more people. And mainly the reason we do this, just behind the fourth wall or whatever, Patreon doesn't allow raffles and that sort of stuff. So instead, what we do is you sign up for our mailing list. You get a chance to pick the main attraction that we close each theme out with if you are on their mailing list. So prior to today, we were maxed out. If people went to our website and they found that Dracula stamp and they went to sign up for our mailing list, they couldn't do it because we were at our maximum subscribers under the free account. Now we can have 2,000, right? What? Is that what you said?
Oh, I can't remember. Don't worry.
Anyways, get out.
Doesn't worry.
Sign up. If we hit the limit again, we'll figure something out. But sign up. Yeah. You get a chance, and you'll also get whatever Amy is cooking up. What are you cooking up? Are you cooking? Do you have anything cooking?
I'm cooking up some Cincinnati style chili.
Oh, yeah! You guys are helping me probably purchase this bundle of compressor plugins I've been eyeing. So,
well, there you go.
I could use that for music for the show.
Yeah.
So it still comes back.
Yeah. So I just like to tell patrons where the money's going.
How many times?
Thank you so much.
The other things we're changing.
Thank you very much.
Is we're going to like a team structure, I think, with Patreon, which they will get more of the money. We'll be paying them more, but we'll also be able to do more because we'll all have access to create.
We're going to stop being individual heroes and we're going to come together like the Avengers.
That's right.
And be a team. Mm-hmm. A team for good.
So we'll see what 2021 holds for the show. That's all.
We will.
That's all my housekeeping I had to say.
I think I'm just super tired, but also just the weight of the world feels like it's on my shoulders. So I'm not like peppy.
What's the weight of the world, hon?
I don't know.
Is it the MailChimp?
It's the pandemic.
MailChimp?
MailChimp.
Yeah, so now that there's more people that can sign up for the MailChimp, Mark Watson won't be able to choose 3 movies a year.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mark.
Anyway.
Ruined it for you. So the very weird thing, I was just on Reddit while we were waiting to start. And in the Cincinnati subreddit, somebody was talking about how there's this chili parlor.
I subscribe to that.
Yeah. There's a chili parlor in Greensboro, North Carolina called Cincy's. And they serve Cincinnati style chili, in addition to other things.
Well, we need to go shut it down. That is not in Cincinnati.
They serve other Cincinnati stuff? Like, do they have Montgomery and ribs? And
No, it's just people from Cincinnati moved to Greensboro, I guess.
Yeah.
And they serve our chili there. So if you're in North Carolina, go to Greensboro and go to Cincy's.
Yeah,
neat.
That sounds fun. Hopefully the people in Greensboro are taking to the chili.
Well,
I know it's like love it or hate it type of thing.
So I'm looking at the menu and they're like, you can get your 3-way, 4-way, 5-way on rice in it or noodles. And I'm like, on rice?
I have heard that before.
Oh, it's like gumbo or something.
People do it.
I guess it'd be fine. I'm just not sure how I feel about it. But then that reminds me of, what are you doing, Freddy?
What do you mean? I was just sharing my screen so I'd be ready. But also Eric retweeted Rue Morgue's Chucky age progression picture.
His face swap.
Oh my God.
It's what Chucky would look like as an old man, and it's so funny.
He looks so friendly. He's like an oatmeal spokesperson now.
Oh my God.
That's upsetting.
I feel like it's pretty close to the one that Andy did of me. It's got the same little white beard.
Yeah.
So if you're not following Eric BGH or Rue Morgue, you can see that on Twitter.
Oh my God. No, I was transitioning to discuss the Simpsons episode that aired last Sunday. The Road to Cincinnati. And I don't know who's watched it here other than me and Freddie.
Did they actually come
Not
to
me.
Cincinnati?
Yes.
What's funny is I kept getting this news article suggested to me like why the Simpsons did a road trip to Cincinnati, but I didn't realize it was a whole episode. I thought it was just something about once upon a time the writers from the Simpsons came to Cincinnati for some reason.
Were they nice to our city?
They were very nice, actually. I mean, they
There
make
was
the usual
gentle
jokes
ribbing.
about
Cincinnati Air.
Air Cincinnati.
Air Cincinnati is the only airline that flies into Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Hey, we're a Delta hub.
Northern Kentucky, though. Think about it.
Yeah, the Cincinnati airport's in Kentucky. Anyway, the end shot of the episode is the thing that touched me deeply. It's Skinner and Chalmers eating at the Skyline Chili in Clifton, which is a very iconic location.
The Ludlow Clifton, that's where we kicked Rick out of the band.
I've been there. I've eaten there quite a bit, and it's
the best one in the city.
It really is.
It's great for kicking people out of bands.
Yeah, if you got to kick somebody out of something.
Yeah, if you're in a band and somebody invites you to that location, don't go.
You know it's coming.
Yeah, if you never go, then you're always in the band.
So, every time a movie or a TV show or a song references Cincinnati, I'm always like, hey, oh my gosh.
Oh, we lose our shit every time.
That's a very Cincinnatians love when Cincinnati is mentioned, even when it makes total sense. It's like, well, yeah, we're a historic city. We have a lot of ties to a lot of things. We're a metropolitan center, but we're always the whole city, myself included. We're impressed like rubes whenever.
Yeah. Well, we like. Don't you feel like you're happy that it's a funny word?
Yeah,
it works.
Because it lets people.
I'm always amazed when someone knows that it's a place.
Yeah,
I'm like, why would you be amazed? We have two fucking sports teams. Like
we have the world's most biggest corporation. We have Procter and Gamble, so it's like we're a big deal. God damn it!
I remember I was downtown once, and there was a lady. I was going through leaving a parking garage, and there was a lady in front of me. I could overhear her conversation with the parking attendant. She had it was either Illinois plates maybe or New York plates. Anyway, she was out of state, and she said to the parking attendant, "You have a real city here." I guess the image to the rest of the world is that when you see Ohio in general on TV and it's not Cleveland, you just get this picture of farms and stuff, I guess. I don't know, but I thought it was a really funny, and it was she said it in a real condescending, snotty way too. It was really funny.
Oh, what a bitch.
Yeah.
People, I think we just have a syndrome where people think of us as flyover country, and every time somebody even references us, we hey, we feel seen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's this combination though I have of loving it when the city I'm born and raised, gets some recognition on a national level for something positive. And then there's part of me that loves the idea that we are a secret. And I almost lean more towards the side where I'm like, maybe it's good that people don't know so much about.
I think it's also a little bit of arrogance when, because they should know us. People, we should be referenced more.
It's a good place to live.
Yeah.
As we often top lists of great best places to live. I don't know if in the last couple of years we have. But.
Y'all ever heard of Kroger? It came from here. Y'all ever heard of Luxottica? North American headquarters are here.
You ever heard of Steven Spielberg?
He's been here.
He's from.
He lived here.
George Clooney is from here, kind of.
Yeah.
You ever heard of Charles Manson?
Sarah Jessica Parker.
Carmen Electra.
Carmen Electra. 98 degrees.
Our greatest pride, Carmen Electra.
The
Jerry
Cincinnati
Springer.
Strangler. The Cincinnati Stabber. The Cincinnati Slasher.
It's a kid. Anyway, we love our city.
Yay. Oh, and we showed up in the Tiger King.
Yeah, our mall.
For a hot sec.
Oh no.
The mall
I
up the
remember
street.
Yeah, I said when it's good
Northgate Mall.
stuff.
There's an episode of Bob's Burgers where they run a movie called Twin Cincinnati, and she says, "Yeah, it's about twins. They put chili on spaghetti."
That's it. That's all people know about us.
Yeah. It is funny.
Even like anybody watching the Queen's Gambit?
Not yet.
They visited Cincinnati. They stayed at a hotel here.
Did they
hotels
film it here?
I don't think so, but
Bummer,
it
dude.
makes sense because it takes place in Kentucky. But even so, like, oh my God, they said Cincinnati.
I like that when Cincinnati is the big city as a joke too. That's also a favorite trope of mine, where it's either Cincinnati or Indianapolis. They're the big cities.
Right.
Yeah, it's a
You're
classic.
coming from
TV
somewhere
trope.
else in Ohio or Indiana.
Right. There's somewhere coming from like a real small town.
Like, we're going to Cincinnati today. Oh, the big city.
Anywho, we're a nice medium.
We're the medium
We're a medium
place.
place if you've seen a good place.
Yeah. Like Cincinnati.
And what else you guys got for the top? Oh my God, I made some cookies. I didn't really make them. Here's the thing. I was trying to make these Nutella cups that are made with Biscoff butter, and I didn't know you're supposed to get Biscoff butter and not Biscoff cookies. Anywho.
Oh, the Biscoff cookies. I wish I could see those.
Oh, they're good.
They're so good. We were, again, just talking about those the other day.
Yeah.
And I had a look because I was like, what are those things called?
You're
Those
on
are
a
the
plane.
tubes filled with cream, right?
No.
No, Biscoff are the ones you get on airplanes.
On Delta specifically.
They're a
you
very
think of,
mild cookie.
I don't know if I like those. I don't know if I've had those.
It's a gingerbread-esque.
Yeah, kind of. It's
like a
more like
spiced cookie.
Yeah, it's
Spiced
like a
cookie.
spiced shortbread is what I would
It's very,
describe it as.
it's very European. Let's
Those
put
are
it
okay. I was thinking of the crumbly little tubes filled with chocolate cream, though. They come in a can.
Oh yeah, no. What are those called? You just stir coffee with them sometimes. Anywho,
Anyway.
Pure ways.
yeah,
Yeah.
those are good. But I
Biscotti.
took the Biscoff and I put Nutella, made sandwich cookies out of it, but then I melted white chocolate and poured it over them to make a shell.
That sounds outrageous.
It was good.
Yeah, that sounds good.
It was good.
You could put all kinds of things between peanut butter.
You could do whatever.
Pinball.
Poonball.
But anyways, there's a recipe for making these things that look like Reese cups, and that's what I meant to make, but I fucked up.
You can
But
make
it's still
whipped
good.
cream.
It's still good.
It sounds good.
Say, like, I would have just eaten the cookies. Like, I give up.
Well, I thought about it. I was like, maybe next time I'll use these other things. And I was like, I could make something cool with just what I got.
Well, look at you.
Somebody was like
Doing things
making
on the fly.
cookie butter out of the cookies,
Cookie butter.
which it just sounded like a gross idea.
I don't know.
What do you just blend them with water?
It's like a mush.
Yeah. Remember when
Cookie
it's like
mush.
when Mr. Rogers made peanut butter?
I do. I remember that vividly. He
Yeah.
just smashed them up.
He took butter and peanuts and put them in a bag and smashed it with a wooden spoon.
That's not how you do it.
No, I think that was the point he was making.
Oh.
That was the point. This is not how. And then he showed you the factory.
Yeah.
I love that. I loved when Mr. Rogers would do that, and they'd show you how things are made,
Yes.
and it showed him pumping it through the machinery at the.
I still
how
love
the-
that. Like
Yeah, it's great. I do
that
too.
Cliff Clavin show is all about that same sort of stuff. What's it called? How it got made? Who made this?
How it's made?
How to get burned? Yeah, how's it made?
How come that's not a show?
Just
How to get boned?
different things that got burned, and it's hosted by Nicolas Cage. You're watching How to Get Burned.
It's got recreations like from Rescue 911.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. So, anything else?
That's happened.
Yeah.
Jibber jabbers.
Jibber jabber.
I think we should move on.
Yeah,
I feel like
Jabbered and jabbered enough.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, boys and girls. It's time for straight to video Russian roulette. Is anybody in there? Grab my hand.
want is for all of you to treat this camp as a kind of holiday. We will have fun. We're going to make some new friends.
I'm for also.
At the same time, we will analyze our problems. It's going to be a week full of adventures, so much fun and opportunities.
My name is Isa. I'll be the leader of your group then. Well, off we go now.
Did you know in Poland 15,000 people disappear every year, a third of them in the woods?
Guess we're contributing to the stats this year.
Bartek, Anila, you two will stay here in the event that Daniel returns. Don't go anywhere. Are we clear? Myself and Zozha will look around nearby.
But it's private property. We aren't allowed to go in. Nobody's home. I say we go back, okay?
Hello, sir. Will you help us?
Our friends are dead.
Nobody sleeps in the woods tonight. Nobody sleeps in the woods tonight.
Looks like you watched the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but not.
Yeah, that's it's definitely, it's Polish and it is dubbed. But I think you can watch it in the original language on Netflix as well.
Did they say, was the statistic at the beginning of that 15,000 people disappear in Poland into the woods every year?
I think so.
Did he say 15,000?
I feel like that's an inflated stat if that's what he said. It kind of went past me and I was like, wait a minute, what? 15,000? I don't think so.
There's a Polish joke in there somewhere, but I can't think of one.
Yeah. The opening of this movie, there's a lady frantically washing blood out of clothes on an old washboard and tub, you know? And then I think it was a postman shows up and he's dragged into the basement. It's very, kind of reminds me, I think this was a nod to Spider Baby, this sequence. And then it jumps 30 years. And this is when your campers turn up at Camp Adrenaline.
Oh, that's the camp I want to go to.
Yeah. There's I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. The composer who made the score for this, I don't know if it's Hymek or Jimek or Jimek. But anyways, that's the stage name that he composed the score under. It's, for me, it's one of the best things about the movie is the score. It's varied throughout. You get different styles of music throughout, but he uses theremin and piano, and there's synthesizers, and it's moments of it are really beautiful. They're almost like the music in Cannibal Holocaust, where it had that great juxtaposition with like the horrible stuff you're seeing, but you had this like beautiful piece playing over it, which I'm sure was. I feel like this movie is very deliberately paying homage to the classic slasher movies and other horror genre films and styles. The kids, they come to camp, all their technology is taken from them and they're supposed to go out in the woods because they're addicts, essentially. One of the kids it becomes meta because one of the kids has a very successful like YouTube gamer, like a Twitcher kind of guy. And he is it's insufferable. Like the character is really hard to, he keeps telling the girl she looks like Sarah Connor and everything has to do with pop culture, video games. It's just a tired trope, Yes. And, it might not be tired to a Polish audience because I'm sure this movie probably played like, it's nice that Polish speaking people can have their own slasher movie, I guess, because it's not a bad slasher movie. It's a decent movie.
Yeah. It's
very much like, it's almost like right in the middle, just above mediocre. It's good enough to watch in that there are competent performances. There are things that if you liked Wrong Turn, I think they kind of
It looked very wrong turny to me in the trailer there too.
Yeah, it's definitely got some wrong turn elements in it, but it also has some unexpected moments of like supernatural elements in it. It's a decent movie. There's definitely a nod to Evil Dead that's very blatant. And there's a great man on fire stunt in the movie that I thought they did really well. It's the killers are these two like 400 or 500 pound men. Like this is where you kind of see that wrong turn similarity as they're covered in boils and they wear overalls.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always surprised that wrong turn managed to continue to become a thing because it felt like such a tired ripoff 100 years ago. Like, oh, look, it's The Hills Have Eyes in the Woods.
Yeah.
But they keep making them. They just made another one. People love them.
Yeah. Damien, our friend Damien's in the one that's not out yet. That's actually what they're doing. I can't spoil anything because I don't want to get him in trouble. But they're doing something different with this new one. Mm-hmm. Andy knows, right? Weren't we all at dinner together? Yeah. So I'm actually kind of intrigued by what I know about that one.
We're all biting our tongues right now.
Yeah. I don't know when that's coming out.
You were at dinner together pre-pandemic.
Pre-pandemic. Yes. This way back when they were making the movie.
I just wanted to let everybody know.
Yeah, it's been a while. Anyways, I'm kind of curious about that one. I wasn't a huge fan of those movies in general.
I've never seen one of them. I want to. I just never got around to it.
I saw the first one at the theater.
Yeah, I did too.
I think it's successful in the way that Saw is successful. People watch it for the kills.
Yeah, no, I totally get that.
Because they're all pretty. The Wrong Turn franchise is kind of known for its gore.
I would say,
I think that's why it's such a successful franchise.
I got you.
And nobody
sticks with it.
Nobody Sleeps in the Woods Tonight has a lot of practical, super gory kills in it. So if you are a fan of that element, I think this does that very, very well. It's really, that part of the movie is entertaining enough that the things I didn't like about it, I was willing to forgive because, and I'm not a gore hound usually, but if it's clever enough and it's fun, like there are moments in this movie where there are unexpected kills and just creative stuff, which I enjoy. So the focus is mainly on that. It's very much a slasher movie in the old classic sense of a slasher movie. But yeah, a recommend if that's what you're into that night. I'm not saying like go seek this out, but if you want a slasher movie and you want something you haven't seen, you don't want to just revisit a Friday the 13th or something, this is a good substitution to just get something a little fresh.
Substitute it.
Yep. And that's all I have to say about that.
It's hard to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
But as long as they do it, well, it's fine for me.
Well, that being said, I have a Jack in the Box here.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to pass
Don't pick up the movie gun. It sounded like you were almost about to pick up the movie gun.
I know. Sometimes I get confused.
You need to lock that away, Amy.
We don't use it anymore.
In my gun safe.
We've slugged it. We put a metal slug in the barrel.
Oh, I got you.
Been
it's
retired.
safe now. Okay.
All right, we're going to start cranking. Kelley, you have to start first.
We're going to start cranking Kelley.
Start cranking Kelley.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
And just like that, it popped out on you. Did you hate when that happens?
I froze, so I don't know what just happened.
You lost.
Yeah.
Oh no.
This film comes to us via Esther, our BFF, who was talking about it, seeing the trailer, and we watched the trailer together on our Discord meetup the other day. And yeah, it's called Anything for Jackson.
Oh, I just I saw this advertised, or I might have watched the trailer too. Describe it to me.
After losing their only grandson in a car accident, grief-stricken Audrey and Henry kidnap a pregnant woman with dark intentions. to perform a reverse exorcism, putting little Jackson inside her unborn child, a Shudder original.
That's where I saw it, in my Shudder newsletter that I receive.
Yeah.
It looks pretty good.
It does. It sounded good.
Yeah.
All right. I like Shudder originals, so
there you go.
Shudder's full.
The Shudder's full.
Zowo. Christmas and horror Zowo. That's a Krampus Zowo.
That's so funny.
Wouldn't that be funny if you went there one day and they're like, we don't have any more storage space, and they have to do a GoFundMe so they can put a new movie on there?
Shudder's full.
And like, Shudder's full, and there's a picture of Randy Quaid winking over his shoulder, pumping horror movies into the storm drain.
You mean Randy Quaid, MAGA patriot that our president has been retweeting?
Oh, has Randy Quaid come back out of the woodwork to?
He's bonkers.
To be retweeted by Donald Trump several times.
I knew he was crazy, but I thought that him and his lady had sort of like absconded to a desert island where they could be free from whatever.
I thought they escaped to Canada.
They were in Canada. I remember seeing their sex tape.
Oh, did you watch it?
I watched some of it.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Somebody was wearing like a mask, right?
I haven't seen them because I don't want to be scarred by it. But if you can make it through it, maybe I can. Will it ruin sex for me though?
Yeah,
I have to see it.
Does he say Shitter's full in that too?
Oh. But anyway, him and Rudy Giuliani are going to save democracy. So, anywho's.
Oh boy.
Oh, R.I.P. Randy Quaid.
I like to think it's all
America.
performance art.
Let's hope.
Anything else, guys, before we move into the main attraction? The main vein?
Let's drain the main vein.
Good morning. That's me, Millie. Ordinary, boring Millie.
I love your dress. I think I saw it at Discount Bonanza.
Okay, so I was never the most popular.
Homecoming's this weekend. Booker is gonna be at the dance.
And boys never really noticed me.
Wow!
Honestly, if this was a horror movie, I'd be one of the first ones to get killed.
Cue the creepy dude in the mask.
Like I said. But actually, it turns out...
Where am I?
I didn't get killed.
Oh my God, why do I sound like that?
I woke up in the killer's body.
The Blissfield Butcher strikes again.
Don't freak out.
You're black! I'm gay! We are so dead!
Ow! Will you stop? It's me, it's Millie. Hail, Blissfield, high, feel our glory and our might.
And not only is that psycho wearing my body, he's killing it.
He's like a wolf in sheep's clothing. Who knows how many of our friends he's gonna kill?
Are you sure this is safe?
No.
Oh my God, it's a slaughterhouse.
I have like less than 6 hours to swap back or I'm gonna be stuck in his body forever.
Hurry up, loser, I gotta take a dump.
I have to admit, it hasn't been all bad.
I'm sorry, sir, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Move! How's that feel? I'll make you wish your stupid face was never born. Oh my God, did you just pee yourself?
Yes!
Whoa, what am I wearing?
I'm actually really liking this for you. Great. We're gonna get killed by Murder Barbie.
I can't wait to kill you.
Time to stop this asshole.
We're in this together.
I want my body back.
Come and get it.
Look, I know I look like the butcher, but it's Millie.
He's crazy.
Okay, Booker, can you look at me, please?
Booker!
Dry up, bitch.
Booker, help! Booker!
Will you shut up?
Booker!
Whoop. That movie's a great time.
It was a great time. I thought that was a lot of fun.
Friendly reminder up at the top, we always spoil. So I think all of us agree that this is a movie worth your time.
If you've seen the trailer, it looks like it's been spoiled for you already.
That's true. The trailer gives away most everything about the movie, but it's still worth seeing. And it's even, to me, it's a $20 rental. It was worth it. I mean, 3 of us watched it together.
I would have paid $10 to see it in the theater. So
right. Yeah.
For sure. And I think even though the trailer does spoil it, I feel like if you have seen any slasher movie or body swap movie, you already know all those beats anyway. It's really about the performances and the dialogue and the cute.
Another thing I really liked about this movie is that it recalls like the 80s and 90s without being blatant about it.
Agreed.
Which I feel like a lot of things like nowadays, they want to reference the 80s and 90s, but they're just like throwing references in just so they can recall the era, as opposed to just getting the feel of the era.
Yeah, I feel like they use tropes without using without trying to make it look like the 80s or sound like the 80s.
Yeah, or like look like they don't like throw like old references in. They just try to recall the era.
And just to clarify, it's not set in the 80s or 90s. It's set in present day, but but it's that it's
a very throwback movie.
They're trying to give you that feeling of those types of movies.
It's also 2 of 80s most successful tropes combined. Kind of like how when The Blob came out, they were like, teenager movies are huge, but so are science fiction movies with alien creatures in them. We're going to combine a teenager movie and an alien creature movie and make The Blob. This combined the body swap that we all grew up seeing with movies like Freaky Friday, vice versa. Yeah, like Father Like Son, 18 Again. All those. I mean, we had a lot of body swap movies growing up.
We did.
Soul Man.
Do you consider Big a body swap movie?
No, it's because he's just grown up.
But it's sort of a body swap.
It kind of is. He's in a different body, I guess.
Yeah. What I love about this too is I feel like, I mean, it is, first of all, it is basically literally Freaky Friday and Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Smashing the one. I mean, everything but the name, it's basically Jason Voorhees. You know what I mean? Even his mask looks almost like a hockey mask.
You got some Scream thrown in there. You've got
Do you think
bunch of Heathers thrown in there?
This may have been the result of somebody playing, like on Jeopardy, they have that, and on Wheel of Fortune, they do before and after. Yep. And it could have been Freaky Friday the 13th.
I feel like that was what the pitch probably was.
Right.
Like, we're going to do exactly Freaky Friday the 13th, or that's how the idea came about. And when I described this to Colin last night after watching it, because I was recommending it to him, and it really is, you get a lot of horror comedies and good ones where it's like straight up half horror and the comedy and horror both as strong as each other. This to me is like a horror family movie where like it has this really strong family movie feel in a lot of places, like family in that, those teenager falling in love kind of movies with like all these like really sweet moments. And then it has some really hardcore gore.
Yeah.
And violence. And I feel like it actually, because there are parts of this where I'm really like, oh, look at what's happening. People are learning about each other and themselves. And then somebody fucking gets like split down the middle. And it's
Alan Ruck.
That is one of the things I really enjoyed about this.
So, that's a good point. And it's ironic because when we saw this filmmaker made Happy Death Day and Happy Death Day to You. And when we were watching this, I said, man, I asked Amy and Andy, I said, have you seen Scout's Guide to Surviving the Zombie Apocalypse? And I didn't realize it, but he directed that too.
I still need to watch that. I've wanted to see it since it came out, but it kind of seemed like it got buried a little bit.
It's a great movie. And I mean, in as much as if you like this kind of movie, you'll like it. Because I know this isn't for everybody. There's going to be people that watch this and they're not going to like it. But
I just love the return of like high concept movies as opposed to straight up slashers or straight up.
Oh, agreed.
Killer movies like that,
Well, that's what I was going to say.
That's another very 80s thing.
Yeah, this director, Christopher Landon, he's made, I think with these 3, I think he has really made a stamp stylistically that's his. This is like his brand. I mean, and that's what made me think of it, was that subconsciously making that connection to Scout's Guide. That just speaks to how much of a brand he's created. I knew it was his movie on some level without having known it.
Well, agreed. And what's funny, I would have compared, because I've never seen either of the Happy Death Day movies.
Oh, they're great.
Kelley, I couldn't recommend them more.
Oh, I'm going to. I mean, it's not because I didn't want to. I just haven't got around to it. But having seen the trailer for them 1,000 times, like even watching this, I was like, wow, this looks like it just from the trailers, like he's got such a strong kind of style that like I was even associating with a movie I hadn't even seen. But
right.
I feel like this looks like scenes from that.
Well, it's just not just like he has a brand in terms of storytelling, but just the look of it too. I love how bright and poppy it is.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I feel like a lot of horror movies now, they're just so like dour and like overcast and everything. But this is like bright, poppy, neon,
Sunny.
80s.
Making horror fun again. I
Mhm.
think like I love that idea of bringing that back, that feeling. Like you were saying, Andy, it captures the essence of the fun we had in the 80s with horror movies. And the other thing about these, where was my brain? I was, when we watched Happy Death Day in the theater, I said I loved that. And I'm not normally the guy who pushes. Again, I said I'm not a gore hound in the roulette segment, but like I don't normally push for a hard R. I don't care if a movie's good, it's good. It's all right if it doesn't, if they choose not to go gory. Mm-hmm. But I felt like when we came out of Happy Death Day, I said I loved it, but I would have loved to have seen an R-rated version of it.
Right.
And that's what Freaky is like the R-rated version of Happy Death Day, where they didn't pull any punches.
Yeah, it's like the juxtaposition between this bright, cheery, poppy movie and like the extreme gore that pops up every now and then.
Yeah, I think that's a strength for this. Like I said, like these really sweet moments where it's really hard for, like there were moments where I've like watching any sort of manipulative, kind of family or, oriented movie, I'm feeling those beats. And then I'm like, like there's real tension too. There are moments, very simple scenes where he really builds tension and fear, like her sitting outside the high school waiting to get picked up.
That was
like
great.
It's a scene I've seen 1,000 times, but somehow they made it really work and made the tension real. So I don't think they've blown the world out of the water. Are you guys frozen?
No. We're just listening. I know you're not used to us listening.
I think that this was sort of while it's not like nobody's going to be like this is a groundbreaking movie. Again, as we keep reiterating, I think it's a good movie, and I think it's I genuinely really enjoyed it and thought it was very clever and heartfelt. I think everyone really was 100% in. Vince Vaughn doing his teenage, like he really felt like her, like
he didn't overdo it, and I thought he was going to, in moments from the trailer, like why he's doing that little cheer in the movie makes sense. He's proving who he is,
right?
Why he's doing it, and it works in the movie. Like he's not doing it to be funny, and he doesn't. There's nothing in there. Like he is performing. He's doing an impersonation, really, of Catherine Newton, who plays Millie, and not of just a girly character. It's not like a caricature. And
it's funny because like he could have easily gone over the top because this is an over the top movie,
right?
But he held it back just enough where it's not eye rolling.
No, it genuinely felt like her. I mean, even compared to other Body Swap movies, I feel like he felt like the actual character,
And she did
she did too. Yeah.
Great job of being him. Like pretty creepy, like a fierce character. Like, there's these moments where you're like, well, she doesn't have the size and the physical strength that he had when he was in his own body, but there's a that madness is still there, and that's enough to make her dangerous.
That was actually one of the things that I thought was done really well and really clever, was both of them kind of realizing the limitations and advantages of their new bodies. Like, I loved that the butcher in Millie's body kept kind of forgetting what size he was and like how much strength he did or didn't have. So like he kept trying to do the things that he normally would do to people, and then like different characters would keep throwing him to the ground, and he'd be like, oh right, I have to use like, so then he would use her, you know, he would put her sort of athleticism or just being a young person to good use and then jump on somebody.
There's like a little gnat or something flying around the room. It's just distracting because both me and Freddie keep trying to catch it. And I don't know if you guys have noticed us on the Zoom.
Yeah, it's got to look weird for you guys because you can't see the gnat.
I did. I was like, is he trying to tell me something?
Yeah, get some chopsticks.
I just snatched it out of the air.
I thought you were saying like, enough.
I got cartoon hands.
Shut it down.
Shut it down. I want to talk about the scene.
Talking to your microphone.
Shut up.
Oh, real quick, can I say one more thing about that? And then I also loved how Millie in his body kept realizing, like almost accidentally, like she would like go through a wall or like throw people harder than she meant to.
Yeah, I just love how like he's just tossing these teens around like they're rag dolls.
Yeah. But it was a nice touch, I feel like, that again was played in a very real way because it kept coming up, but it wasn't like super in your face. It was just like, oh shit, I forgot. I'm not.
Yeah, it's like when
I'm not a giant dude anymore.
Like when he tries to run into the closed door and she gets hurt.
Yeah.
And it's like, damn, I forgot. Like I'm not as strong as I used to be.
It's a nice detail.
Yeah, I like how like she gets kind of like beat up in that body.
But also like they do a great job of showing that like a mind over matter theme, like where I think a lot of filmmakers, especially somebody working in the horror genre, sometimes they phone certain elements in because they can ride on the kills and all that. But they do manage to make like a theme where it's about seeing yourself through someone else's eyes and like how there's a lot of power in that.
Yeah.
Because she was this mousy, she wasn't taking what was hers in life, or really her self-esteem, I think, was kind of fucked up. Mm-hmm. And this whole thing, who she is at her core is so potent to everyone around her, and she doesn't know it. And I think the most like two beautiful moments in the movie, one in the dressing room where she has the unknowing, like she's in Vince Vaughn's body. She's in the dressing room at the store where her mom works.
Oh yeah.
And they have
a great scene.
It was great. Her mom starts hitting on him, but it comes out as this really genuine conversation about her relationship with her daughter and everything. And it was really, really moving. And then there's a second moment in the third act when the boy she's in love with kisses her while she's in Vince Vaughn's body.
This is my favorite scene, I think, out of the whole movie, is them in the car, because again, this movie really, especially talking about it again today, it's actually really it's
progressive,
powerful.
I think.
It is progressive for sure, and it's strong.
Especially that scene with the car, because I feel that scene could easily be played for laughs.
Oh, right. Agreed.
Like,
I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, this kid's kissing, this teenager's kissing Vince Vaughn. Isn't that funny? But you look beyond that and you realize that people like fall in love with a person as opposed to like the outside.
And that was what made it so great, is because it made you think about that.
And it felt natural. That was the thing too. Like, again, props to all of the actors, because again, Vince Vaughn it felt like that kid was with her, like a teenage girl. Like, it wasn't even, I mean, it was a little funny when they actually went in for the kiss, because I didn't think they were gonna. I thought something was gonna happen, and then they did, and I was like, "Aw."
It kind of has to happen, like for that to work. Like, you can't have them get interrupted or anything. You have to go all the way through.
It was really good.
It was beyond. It wasn't even him or her being in a man's body, but also like his teeth were yellow. He didn't smell good. Like,
he's a murderer.
He's a murderer, right? Like, they didn't turn, like you were saying, they didn't make it into anything more than this just proves how much he cares about her.
Yeah,
and that was enough to make it a really great moment that I've never seen in a mainstream movie.
It is. I think that was my favorite scene in the movie.
That's what I was gonna say before. That scene because I thought it was really sweet.
It was super sweet.
It's sort of the heart of the movie, you know?
And Vince Vaughn was really adorable when he was playing her, when she was nervous and like he was coming to the back seat to sit with her and the body language was really great.
Yeah.
I agree. There is this one moment where when they decide they're going to wait till they're back in her body to really kind of make out or whatever. And he like puts his arm around her and as Vince Vaughn kind of like settles in and just sort of looks down. And it was like, again, it really was like he was I completely bought that he was that girl in that body. Like it was really good.
It's the best acting I think I've ever seen him do.
Probably.
Yeah. Well, he's playing against type, and I've never really seen him like stretch his acting muscles like this because he's always like the sleazy, gross character.
Right.
Like he's like playing this teenage girl, which is like a big, leap for him.
Yeah.
And I think he like really knocked it out of the park.
So here's my question, my only question, and this might be because I wasn't paying too much attention at the beginning, but why? So at the beginning, it's this group of teens doing teen stuff that gets slaughtered by the butcher, and he finds the knife in the house of this teen that he's
because the parents were
slashing.
like archaeologists or something.
Okay, so they had
yeah.
So they had this mystical knife that, when used,
very much like a Buffy episode.
Yeah,
like the one with the mask.
It reminded me a lot, for a number of reasons, of the Buffy Faith body swap.
Yeah.
Because also one of the things I loved about that, because I never really thought Eliza Dushku was that great, but then when I saw them acting like each other and capturing each other's mannerisms, that's one of my favorite Buffy episodes just because of the acting. Like I was so like, I enjoyed watching the other one act like the other one. And
it's great when it's
sort of,
two actors that really know each other or work at it to capture that stuff. It's always fascinating.
Yeah, that's one of the that's really what if there's a thing in these kinds of movies that I enjoy, it's seeing how closely the actors can kind of capture each other, which usually it's not great, but this one was.
Fuck yeah.
So
suck yeah.
Oh wow.
I got a potty mouth today. Sorry.
Your question.
So yeah, that answers kind of. I wasn't quite sure about the origin of the knife. Okay.
It's an Aztec sacrificial knife.
Yeah, and then the parents were collectors. Okay, that makes sense.
Gotcha.
Then
I do love that moment when he first uses it, and they use this. This is one of the times when I'm like, yeah, this CGI moment worked. Yeah. They made everything disappear around them, and you could see the Aztec temple from an aerial shot, like she was on the altar.
Yeah.
To be sacrificed. That was a cool moment.
It was cool. And it was nice too, because they eventually like do specifically explain it in dialogue. But if you're like, again, if you're sort of a horror fan or a genre fan, and when you saw that happen, I feel like, at least for me, I was like, oh, it's like an Aztec thing. All right. And so it was like cool to be able to like have it telegraphed just visually. And so then for some people, you're going to get it that way. And then later they actually explain it with dialogue exposition for the people who were like, why did that happen?
What?
The people who are in the theater and who turn to you and talk and ask why things are happening.
The ones who were getting popcorn in the first act.
Happening? Why did that happen? Who is that?
This would have been so great in a theater. So then at the end, he gets shot a couple of times by was it the sister police? Sister?
Just
favorite
police.
band.
Popo.
Felt like an homage to Scream, didn't it?
But he goes full Halloween at the end.
Yeah. Oh, I just meant the sibling, the older sibling being the police officer.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But yeah, Halloween, I didn't even think about that.
And he's fine, and he can still go on a rampage after he gets out of the ambulance after killing everybody.
Yeah, that reminded me of Halloween 4.
Well, at first I thought this scene felt tacked on, but then I realized what the point of it was. Like, it's like the family coming together to defeat this evil.
Yeah,
they were kind of like broken before, but they're coming together.
The mom and the sister and Millie go ham on him.
It also has to be, I think, her victory. And like, if you let it end before that, it's not her victory so much as it is his loss, and like, you have to have her have this definitive triumph moment. It's plussed, like as in Disney speak, they'd be like, this is the moment they plussed it.
Agreed. And it was also, again, really tense, scary scene when she gets up and is hearing the noises in the living room. Like, that was a really strong horror scene,
Yeah.
Because I wasn't quite sure. I was like, he's just a regular run-of-the-mill slasher murderer at the beginning. I wasn't thinking in the vein of Jason Voorhees or Michael Myers until the end. And I'm like, oh, he gets back up after being shot. Okay, all right. I see where he falls in this now. I wasn't already there.
Which is fun because I never thought of him as just like I kept waiting. Like I was like, oh, this guy he's Jason Voorhees just without the name. Obviously you can't just make a, but he is basically for all intents and purposes Jason Voorhees. So
right.
With a little different. I mean, he's obviously not deformed, but like
now he looks like Vince Vaughn.
But he looks like Vince Vaughn.
Why did Vince Vaughn?
So I always knew he was a slasher and not a serial murderer.
Why did
as a monster.
Vince Vaughn as Millie go to the school? Because
to meet up with her friends to explain what happened.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I might have had a couple of bourbon and cherry 7-Ups.
Yeah, I was making drinks.
So
it's like another thing I really liked about this movie was like when Millie wakes up in Vince Vaughn's body and his hideout. It is just so stereotypically what you think of as a serial killer or a killer's place. It's got all these like mannequins.
It's super over
males.
The top. Dead animals.
It's like I love how like blatant it is.
Well, you know what I thought? I wondered if some of that again was just sort of a nod to Vince Vaughn being in the cell, because Vince
I forgot
D'Onofrio had a bunch of mannequins and stuff in that. I think he had a silo or a barn, but it was sort of similar. There was plastic hanging from the walls and there were mannequins. So I wonder if that was like a deliberate, like,
was he in the cell?
Vince Vaughn. Yeah. He was the cop.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. It's been so long. I thought it was Vincent D'Onofrio.
Also,
Vincent D'Onofrio was a serial killer.
Yeah.
Oh, I got these. They're very similar like vibes.
Yeah. And then
they do
goes
have
into his mind
Yeah, they do.
or something.
I didn't realize everybody thought that.
So here's my question.
Because there's Vince and Vincent.
Yeah.
Who do I have to bribe with money to get a glow in the dark haunted miniature golf course?
Oh yeah, that was cool.
Because I fucking love that and I want it. Where can I find it? How do I get it near my home?
It makes me wonder if if that was an existing thing that they filmed at, or if they created it for the movie,
or something that was inspired by something that actually exists.
Yeah. Very, very cool.
It was cool.
Andy, when you were saying about her waking up in his body, I thought we were going to have the genitals talk. Because that's the first thing we were saying is the first thing you do if you woke up in another is it sex? Am I using the right word now?
What are you
versus gender? Like, would you work?
Yes.
So if you woke up in another sex's body, my God, I'm butchering the English language.
You're using it correctly.
So that you would immediately be fascinated with the differences.
Yes.
And
that is a part of all those movies too. Usually, if it's if it's a sex swap, or if it's a big boy becoming a little boy.
Yeah, I love how they handled it in this one though.
She has fun with it too, because at one point she's swinging her dick around.
Yeah,
and you hear it slapping against his thighs, I guess.
That's pretty funny. And they don't go too weird, like they don't get over the top with him. Like, I mean, in her body, he kind of is like, oh, look at that.
You kind of, you can't go too far with that because it'd be too creepy.
And it was just, it's not necessary for this kind of movie. So like, I felt like, again, that's a kind of thing where you almost expect them to go stupid with it. And they kind of like, they nodded to it, but held back.
And they moved on. Yeah.
Yeah, they moved on.
They addressed it perfectly because it was enough to make you go, of course, you'd have a moment.
Yeah.
But we're not going to obsess over those details because the meat of the movie is like the scares and the emotional stuff. Really, really good.
Yeah, now I'm actually even more excited to watch Happy Death Day. We talked about that, so that's probably going to go up higher on the list. And now I'll also Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse because, again, I already kind of wanted to watch it anyway. So I'm
less of a fan of the marked ones, but he also did that, which is the Paranormal Activity spinoff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it, but it's not his movie. Like the way that those three are really, like, you can tell that he made those three.
Did he direct the second Happy Death Day?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Pretty sure. I'll double check.
FYI, there's a place called Scary Strokes in Southern Maryland. It's the ultimate indoor blacklight mini golf virtual reality and family entertainment center. Scary Strokes.
Scary strokes it takes. Scary strokes it gets. Scary strokes to get the world. Yes, it does.
Southern Maryland.
Well, the world don't boo to the sound of just one ghost. Skeletons pop out.
It's only $11.
I go, ah.
That was a good recreation of the different Strokes theme. I'm impressed, man.
I appreciate it. Would you like to take a dip in my hot tub?
All right. Anyway.
Do you remember that?
Was that Gordon Jump?
Yeah, that was no. That was actually Mr. Drummond when he first adopts the kids. It's the thing I always think of when I think of Different Strokes, where he looks at Arnold Willis and he says, "Would you like to take a dip in my hot tub?" And Arnold says, "You stole a hot tub? You stole a tub. Sorry, you stole a bathtub. I blew the joke.
That's
you
okay.
You stole a bathtub.
Keep saying it.
You get it?
I don't know that you blew the joke.
It was a hot tub.
No, I got it.
It was hot. It fell off the back of a truck.
So
I get it.
You get it now, Andy?
That is a good joke.
Yeah, it was cute. It was a cute joke because they were street kids. Hot meant something different.
So just to go back to Scary Strokes, I just realized if I ever win the lottery, I'm going to open something like that, like a haunted mini golf.
Why do you need to win the lottery to do that?
Because I don't have money to do that now.
Well, you got to come up with a business plan and pitch it. Get investors.
All you need some holes.
It's time to
get holes.
Time to get off the crap or take a shit.
I got holes for days. Holes and balls.
All you need are holes and balls. Black
That's
lights.
all you need.
Black lights, skeletons.
That easy.
We've all got those. We're already halfway there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know people that can craft things.
Did you say crap things?
Craft.
Yeah, craft things.
Freaky good.
I don't
recommend.
think we haven't picked a movie for next week yet.
No,
but we will. And we'll also pick whoever is making our final selection from the mailing list on the next episode. I'll give you guys time to sign up. Go to notlp.com. Scroll down till you see Dracula. There's a little stamp, postage stamp, and there's a fields to fill out to sign up for that mailing list. You can do it now if you were rejected before by the cruel MailChimp quotas. You can now get in there. And please do, because there'll be more fun stuff, more above and beyond picking what we actually watch. There'll be other fun stuff that Amy is cooking up. Her creative fires are starting. I can tell.
I can tell too.
Can you?
Mm-hmm. I can see it. It looks like steam is coming out, and there's like little smokestacks coming out of your head. It's like the factory just came online.
I haven't showered in a while.
That's her
you could
activator.
be seeing the stink lines.
Yeah.
I got you.
All right, cool.
Mm-hmm. We got ready to thank our Beelzebubs?
Yeah.
I'm always ready to thank the Beelzebubs.
All right. Alise Kombrinck. This lady's been a long-time contributor.
Yes, and I contribute to her sometimes.
Hey,
I bet you do.
I'd love to swap bodies with her just so I can feel my feet.
Aww.
For a short amount of time. I realize I could have said any number of sweet things there.
Or dirty.
Yeah.
Or dirty, but I'm like, it's been so long since I felt my feet that it would just be interesting for 10 or 20 minutes to be able to pick things up with my toes again.
What if you actually switch bodies with a pair of feet?
Just feet?
Oh, well.
But feet aren't.
What if you guys just swap feet?
Yeah, I'd be open to that too.
It's one of those foot swap movies. It's hilarious.
It's a very niche genre.
Yeah. It's a lot of tripping.
Diabetic horror.
Learning how to dance again.
I hope you dance.
Oh, man. Ernie Perez.
Yes.
Amanda Geletko.
Yes.
Mark
Don't let
Watts.
Yes.
Blake Heath.
Okay.
Bill Farner.
Bill.
Tree and Alex McNulty.
Hi.
Iona Goodwin.
And a great one.
Jeff L.
Jeff L.
Branan and Emily.
I just recorded a podcast with Emily. It ain't out yet. I'll let you know.
The Feminine Critique.
Oh, shit.
We talked about
It's a great podcast.
It is a great podcast.
Christmas, a romantic Christmas movie. It's a stocking stuffer.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Adam Ingram.
Adam.
Alyssa. Boehm.
We were just talking about you.
Hugs and kisses. Bill Chandler.
Yes. Amanda hug and kiss.
Blayne Turner.
Hi.
Monica Martinson.
Hey.
What up?
Dr. Brian. I'm just going to start calling him Dr. Brian.
Dr. B.
It's more fun.
Sounds like he has his own TV show.
I was just gonna say that. Oh, we should be his Oprah and like start.
We should
a doctor podcast.
Let's get the fuck rid of Dr. Oz.
Dr. Brian, attorney at law.
Yeah.
What a switch.
The mysteries of Dr. Brian, attorney at law, PI.
I have clients that I occasionally have to communicate with via email that are doctors.
I talk to doctors.
It's very rare, but I never know. Like normally, I'll open a work email with "Hi, Bob," but I always panic when it's like Dr. Bob Smith.
Dr. Bob. Yeah.
So I never just want to call him Bob because he's a doctor and he worked really hard with it. So I just go with "Hello!" exclamation point.
No, that is the way you should do it. I've done that.
It's tricky. Like I've had relationships with people because I don't always immediately go to like, what do you do for a living? I've known people, especially playing music out. There was this band we used to play with, and the drummer was a brain surgeon. I didn't know the first 2 or 3 times we played together. They're older guys, and this was just their hobby, playing music. But they were all like in these high level professions and stuff, and I'm like, what? I was that guy in an alleyway. Nice.
Yep.
Cutting on somebody's brain.
Yep.
Well,
I love it. I love the world.
It wasn't your responsibility to know that.
True.
It's true. And I thought it was a joke when his bandmates first told me. I was like, yeah, right.
I'm a doctor.
You're like, he's not even that good of a drummer. I wouldn't trust him to cut my brain.
I'm a doctor, damn it.
I'm a doctor.
But
I'm a
drummer, not a doctor.
I have a doctorate in napping.
Oh, yeah. I got a doctorate from the School of Hard Knocks.
Oh, Freddy. Is that it? Are we done here?
Had a lot of hard
knocks.
knocks.
I think we can put a capper on this.
Our friend Sue up in Canada had her birthday recently.
Yeah, big one.
She's 50.
Yeah. She likes to stretch.
She beat us there.
She likes to kick.
If you saw a picture of us together, though, you would think I was the one that was 50.
Yeah, you would. Sue looks amazing. It's that Canadian healthcare.
Mm-hmm. It's all that poutine.
And our friend Todd DePompa had a birthday recently, too.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Happy belated birthday.
DePompa.
I would have wished you a birthday last week, but we took a week off for Thanksgiving and shit. So
we all took big dumps.
Maybe.
We had a number of people have birthdays, I believe. If you had a birthday this week, happy birthday. I've wished a few birthdays this week.
Haven't you? Have you?
Yeah,
birthdays.
That's the only reason I have Facebook, just to wish people happy birthday.
I can't.
My dad would have had a birthday last week.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Elise just had a birthday, too.
Elise just had a birthday. My mom
Your
just
mama
had a birthday.
Yeah.
My mom's birthday would have been this week or last week. Yeah.
Whoa.
And yeah.
As the late, great Shelby Morris would say, Herpy Bath Day.
Herpy Bath Day. Do you guys celebrate birthdays of deceased loved ones, or in any way do you mark it? Because I haven't done that yet.
I got to be honest. I don't. For me, well, first of all, birthdays in my family, we didn't celebrate them anyway. So I was never super clear when everyone's birthday was anyway. Like I didn't remember the exact date of my parents or my brother's birthday. I always knew what month they were in and about when they were. So I'm also not a person that really marks the day. I would have people sometimes message me in the middle of the day and be like, how are you holding up today? And I'd be like,
Why?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then I realized what they were. I'd be like, oh, yeah, I'm okay. I think about this all the time, not just on certain days. So
Same. That's the way my
Right.
brain is. I'm like, every day I spend time thinking about them. So I'm like, it'd be weird for me to like make a different thing. But there's always part of you, because of the tradition and the culture of that you feel like maybe you should, just to do it. But then I'm like, well, what, my parents were, they didn't follow any rules of that kind to begin with. So
no rules.
Make you a cake.
Yep, a cake.
That's the fucking rule.
Yeah.
Our birthdays are next month.
Yes, they are.
Knock on wood.
Well, they'll come whether I'm here or not.
That's true.
And then you'll have to answer that question of what you did
For yourself. Yeah.
I'm going to be one of those demanding dead people where I'm like, you have to come to my grave every year with a $70 bottle of scotch and pour half of it on the ground and then set that half on fire. And then you have to do a special dance that you have to learn.
Or you can check the receipt. That's $70.
My ghost will.
Yeah. Oh, geez.
Freddie's
I'm going to have a very dull afterlife.
He's going to follow all of us.
His
ghost.
That's okay.
Yeah, he's going to watch everything.
Not
I hope so.
everything. No. Sorry, Kelley. Not everything.
Well, you think that now.
Well,
once I get curious.
Once I get a taste of it.
Freddie wants to know what it's like not to feel your feet.
I want to feel your feet in my mouth.
Oh, well, I don't know if you want to know that feels like, but
you guys want
feels like regret.
Can we end this?
We should probably end the show.
Speaking of regret.
Yeah.
I love you guys.
Love you.
Lots of love.
Talk to you later.
Frankenstein was wondering if he should go to bed when his old buddy Leatherface put on Dawn